Hi everybody. My name is Jerry Wise, and today I want to talk about ways in which narcissistic families and narcissistic parents treat you as invisible. And then I'm going to share some things that you can do to help overcome that for yourself. So hold on towards the end. I've been working with individuals, couples, and families for decades and decades and trying to help get their family out of them, a dysfunctional family out of them. And these videos are, I hope, a help for those to begin to think in that way. So, how does a narcissist and a parent treat us invisibly? They don't consult us. You don't consult children. And then once you've gotten into a pattern of not consulting, guess what? When you get older, why would a narcissistic parent consult you then? And narcissists don't really need to consult anybody because they want to control and they have all the answers and they want it done their way. So consulting is not something they have a very high aptitude for. And in fact, I would consider that kind of mental invisibility. They can be bullying, they can be controlling. They don't want to share influence, for sure, in this first way that they treat us as invisible. They don't want to share influence. And when it's regarding you, they don't want to share influence with you about you. I remember so many times when I was a pastoral counselor or a therapist, and there would be some pastors that would have a hard time referring to therapists because the pastor didn't want to share influence with somebody who might not think exactly the way he or she does. Well, sometimes we need to do that. I don't think if a parishioner came to me and they had a broken leg, I'd say, okay, let's just pray to heal it, but I'm not going to send you to a doctor because the doctor might not share the same beliefs we do here at the church. I would need to share influence with the doctor, and so we need, when we grow up and as we become more mature, we then accept the responsibility of sharing influence with others. It doesn't mean my beliefs have to change, but I can share influence with other people, and I think that's a healthy thing to do. And so we're mentally invisible. Number 2, we become intergenerationally invisible. You're just my child. You're my property. You're an object. And you should probably be disregarded, not considered, because you are not of my generation. You're my offspring. And so that will always make you less than, if not even zero, but for narcissists, it many times can mean it makes you zero, not even less than. But you're less than me. I'm the parent. I'm the adult. I've lived longer. Therefore, you need to listen to me. I definitely believe that older people can have some wisdom that maybe younger people might not have. That's just from life experience. But that doesn't mean all older people have greater wisdom or knowledge than, say, a younger person. Not all of them do, but I hope that as we get older, we do become wiser. But for the narcissistic parent, you're of no consequence. And so what you think, how you feel, what you should be doing is, I don't care. You don't matter in that way. And then number 3 comes what I consider the psychological invisibility, which is not having a sense of self. You are only a part of this super self of this family, this overarching Wi-Fi, the emotional Wi-Fi that's going through, and this super self called our family. And you're just a part of that. That's all you are. You're a cog in this super self. You're a puzzle piece in this puzzle. And you can never be different than that puzzle piece. And you may be an insignificant puzzle piece. And so you don't have a self. I don't see you or value you as having a self. And I don't respect you as having a self. So you are just basically invisible in terms of having or being a self, a person. You might be a name, but I'm not sure you're a person. Number 4, emotional invisibility. And then that's where emotional invisibility is. Children's feelings don't mean anything. They are nothing and should not even be tolerated. Or you'll have children where they'll say, you need to just grow up. But how are they invisible? How are they treating us as invisible when they say that? Because they're seeing us as a child and I have no value, meaning my feelings don't matter until somehow I become an adult or get aligned with them. When actually, even as we become adults, they don't value it then either. But it's kind of like, well, you're not this, so your feelings don't matter. Your feelings are unseen and of no value. And then, of course, we end up with the projection invisibility, where the narcissist projects everything onto us, as they do with everyone, and we're just an extension of them. And if you're an extension of someone, you have lost your identity. You are invisible if you're an extension emotionally of someone. And of course, for the narcissist, everyone's an extension of them. And they project. You only become my projections. I feel angry, but I can't show it and don't want to demonstrate that in front of these people, so I'll blame you for being angry and causing this problem. Well, I've just wiped out your whole sense of self by doing that, and that's what projection does. The reality of you stops when someone projects, or at least in the relationship dynamic. It doesn't really stop in reality. And that's what we have to learn when we're recovering, that it doesn't stop that and doesn't have to stop that. And in fact, in the program that I have listed below in the description, if you join the program about family differentiation, your new road to self, I think you'll find answers and ways to work through that would take way too long to just say in a short video here. And I think it would be a help to you. It also includes a year's worth of month group sessions live with me. So we end up being tabula rasa, meaning just a blank slate, but then we just remain a blank slate to the narcissist. You're nothing. You're only something for me to write on. That's how you're invisible. So what do we do to shake this? Stop believing the impossible or irrational and start believing the obvious. And I think a lot of folks that grow up with narcissistic parents they continue to believe the impossible and disbelieve the obvious. We see our parent for who they really are. We're going to stop taking that personally. And that can help us grow up. Just because someone doesn't like my opinion or doesn't want to take my advice doesn't invalidate me as a person. It means I am not them, they are not me. That's fine. If you don't want to take my advice, or clients I've worked with, if I've given them advice, they don't want to do that, I go, that's perfectly fine. You have a right to be you and not do it. Now let me tell you what could happen if you don't, which I'm not shaming you for. It's just I want you to be educated about that so that you're making a good decision for yourself. But you're perfectly free to do whatever you want to do with your life without my judgment. That's called having boundaries. That's called being detached. And I still care about the client, but I don't run the client's life, nor do I cancel them out as being invisible. Second of all, let go of expectations by the narcissistic parent that you will ever be visible. Stop chasing visibility. You will only drive yourself crazy. You'll be chasing your tail for years and years and years. I need to be visible. I need to do something so that they'll see me. I need to be successful so that they will see me. Or I'll do what they say and people please and do what they want so that they'll see me. It is a fool's errand, and it will waste your energy and time because, again, the focus is on them rather than the focus is on you as you interact with them. And that's what family differentiation and self-differentiation is about. It's me focusing on me, not in a narcissistic way, but in a way as to it guides my relationship with other people. And I think that can be taught, learned, and those switches turned back on because they were all turned off when we were growing up as kids. Some questions we could ask, thirdly, is like, if I didn't care about being treated this way, how would that be problematic for them and for me? How would it be problematic? I want to know. And we need to sort that out, because that's where the recovery's at. The recovery's not, if I didn't care what they thought, I'd just be happy and in bliss. That's not going to motivate and doesn't do enough to change you. What we do is look at what would be the downsides, work on those, and then in many ways the change comes naturally. I know that may sound crazy, but it happens all the time. Fourthly, how are you invisible to yourself? Do for yourself what they didn't and don't do for you, because you've internalized that invisibility dynamic, and now you're doing it to you. That's how our family is still in us. How don't you see your feelings, your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions, your pain, your love, your wants, your dreams, self-care? If you're not doing self-care, guess who you're invisible to? Yourself. If we're doing self-care, then we don't see ourselves as invisible. I want you to subscribe, comment, like, and share this video with others. I want to thank you for joining me today. Have a great day and be wise.